ends up being one of those things that you don't really schedule. You kind of accept that the visit is done when the visit is done. But yeah, and anyone who tells you that they schedule visits with family, you should look at very, very suspiciously, because that's very, very weird. Unless you're talking about like a divorce visitation sort of situation. In any case, I am continuing with my quest to completely clean the shed. I didn't expect to be gone quite as long as I was, so I wouldn't be shocked if I get almost no engagement at this hour. But if you do decide to come in, and I just got a notification for Razor Fist Arcade, so there's always a chance somebody might be watching. But if you do come in and feel like it, well, hang on. Oh, maybe I should do that. So, one of my cousins came from Hong Kong, and she was nice enough to bring me some White Rabbit candy. Now, I know this isn't going to mean a lot to the Westerners, but this is one of the best candies on the planet. And yeah, I probably ate more than I should have. Still screaming into the void though, so that's fine. I will wait until I have a couple of viewers at least before I worry too much about getting out of the chair and doing any real work, or until I'm finished my cigarette and my coffee. It is disturbingly late at night here. It is 10:30, so I will be going to about midnight, possibly longer, because I do intend to get some productive work done. It is extremely humid here because it is raining. I'm definitely going to have to put on a bandana because I'm going to be blowing the chrome out all over the place from how sweaty I am. Unless I, keep my arm out of the shot. Yeah, believe it or not, that's a tan. Yeah, this is me with a tan. I am still a pale son of a bitch. I'm also stripping out of my hoodie and attempting to get, dressed here. Or rather, work dressed, I suppose. I'm taking off my jewelry. In case anyone has ever wondered, there is actually printing on my ring. And it says, illegitimi non carborundum, which is a dog Latin joke because neither the words illegitimi nor carborundum exist in Latin. I do see I have a viewer. Hi. And what it basically translates to is don't let the bastards grind you down. And it's something of a personal motto for me. It's total blackout. My freaking printer just ran out of ink. Oh, that sucks. You're welcome to borrow mine, but it's a bit of a drive. Hi, how you doing? Just one moment. I'll be right back. I gotta hang this thing up so it dries. Okay. So I don't know how long you've been here, Blackout, but I was talking about my Chinese cousin had brought me some White Rabbit candy from Hong Kong. Oh, okay, you wanted to print stencils. Yeah, I can understand that. That would be a pain in the ass. So my cousin brought me some of this White Rabbit candy. It's basically rice paper wrapped taffy. It's one of the best candies on the planet, and I absolutely adore it. Rarely do I get any, of course. But one of my friends in BC, when I lived there, I just got here a second ago. One of my best friends when I lived in BC was from Hong Kong and would regularly get care packages, shipments of various things, seaweed rolls, things like that, that were kind of hard to come by in BC. One of the things he would get every time was a bag of White Rabbit candy, and he'd always give me 6 or 7 of them. And yeah, I definitely developed a fondness for them. Also, at that time, I developed a fondness for Pocky, which is a sort of a pretzel stick dipped in. It's a dry pretzel stick, so there's no egg glaze on it, kind of, or a cracker stick even possibly, dipped in chocolate or different flavors. And I definitely developed a taste for those, and I'm quite pleased to see that those are now being sold in stores regularly in Newfoundland. The White Rabbit, yeah, it is really good. It's not a common thing here in Newfoundland. I guess where you're in Idaho, which is fairly close to the west coast, I think you're only one state over from the coast, you probably get it a little more commonly than I do, given that I'm literally on the other side of the planet. But yeah, it's, oh, the Pocky, yeah. I imagine, yeah. It's nothing but a, oh, you've never heard of the White Rabbit? Okay. If you get a chance to try it and you like taffy, it's really good. It's not particularly super sweet, which is good because I don't like a lot of sugar. I'm actually even back to having no sugar in my coffee anymore because of recent medical developments. But yeah, the that White Rabbit is definitely one of those things that when I mention it to, or when my cousin was talking about it, rather, she was talking about how people get very nostalgic about it. Maybe not the zombie thumbnail. Hi, Sasquatch. Not sure what you mean by a zombie thumbnail. I was actually lighting my cigarette and just happened to glance up as the image took, so I'll leave it as it is. If I ever become a billionaire, I'm going to hire a midget to make me. That's one way to go for sure. Looks creepy. My thumbnail? I have to get up and actually grab my phone, check and see what my thumbnail looks like. I didn't think it was that bad. Okay, and I don't get notifications for my own live streams. Surprising. Oh, that is kind of... Yeah, I can understand how you find that a little creepy. Yeah. And interestingly, I have Facebook downloaded on my phone, and it keeps showing me ads for Facebook on YouTube. Which is fine, because they're usually the ones you can skip. You guys remember when you could dislike ads? The one Trim made. Got me lost there, I'm afraid. So there's a third viewer, so that's good. At 3, I will... You got your possessed truck rid of? Awesome. Or, wow, English. You got rid of your possessed truck? Cool. Did the demons go with it? Need to add that shit to everything. Oh. And my knees are absolutely aching. Oh, the thumbs down, yeah. Yeah. I don't think I ever saw an ad that had the option that I didn't dislike. And I'm pretty sure that's not me personally, of course, but that was almost everybody's attitude. Kingdom is also sick. There seems to be a spate of cholera going around in my chat. And yeah, I would always dislike them by reflex as well. Didn't matter if it was a company I would actually support. I didn't want the ads on YouTube. But YouTube never seemed to get the message. And yeah, hello Vinland, says Blackout. So, tonight, and actually while I've got the presence of mind to do it, I will do my shilling now and get it out of the way. So in the description, you can find a non-working PayPal link, which you can actually send me money through my email address anyway on PayPal. Also, if you're in Canada, you can send me a direct transfer to my email address. Let's see, what else? The merch store on Redbubble. What else do I have? Subscribestar as well. Yeah, so there's a pile of stuff you can support me through if you want to. Over on Rumble, which I keep forgetting, they do have this Rumble rant system, which is akin to the old or the YouTube super chats. The difference being Rumble does not take a cut, and they pin your message for, I believe it's 1 minute for every dollar you spend. So if you want to support me that way, that would be awesome. You can also subscribe to me on Rumble, which I believe the minimum there is $5 a month. Personally, if you're going to subscribe to me, I would recommend you do it for $5 a month. If you want to give more, by all means, I won't turn it down, but I know times are tough for everybody. And if you're Canadian, you're dealing with a whole new gas tax soon. Caucasian Sasquatch says he's pretty sure he fixed it first, but didn't keep it long enough to know. Tristan Armstrong is in. Hi, Tristan. When do I plan to start crafting videos? Am I taking commissions, and how many levels of carving do you have? I'm not sure about levels of carving. Not sure what you mean there. I will be starting production as soon as I can. That's part of the reason I'm doing these streams. Of course, it is summer, and that comes with a whole pile of real life interference, family visits, events going on that I have to attend. Also, Stormy and I are doing some work together, so that requires that I give up a little bit of time. Sasquatch is demanding the YouTube keychain. Let me see. I need to get one more piece of equipment before I can really start making something like that, but I could probably hand carve one pretty easily. Let's see here. Am I taking commissions? I may eventually take commissions. Right now, it's not something I can really put a firm yes or no on. Depending on what the commission is, possibly. Though, if you want something special, like just say a mixed wood table, walnut, and something else, then the price would be pretty high. Kizza is in. Hi, Kizza. I also want to call out Kizza, or shout out Kizza, because his donation last night is actually one of the biggest, well, the biggest single donation I've ever gotten at £100. And absolutely, yeah, I'm absolutely made my day. Obviously, as he put it last night, he got it in 4K, making my day. But that's going to cover a lot of material for me, and potentially give me the ability to buy that other tool I was referencing, which would be a router table. So that's going to be wonderful as well. Unfortunately, today the weather was very non-conducive to a lot of work, so I ended up spending some time in the shed, both on and off stream, just getting some things sorted out. There's still a fair bit to do, which is going to be put on hold somewhat. I can't promise to do anything tomorrow on the stream because tomorrow is Sultans of Shadilay Day, but after that stream is done tomorrow, I may, excuse me, and I emphasize the may, do some work out here as well. Mostly just organization is all I really have left to do now before I do an unboxing of two machines, my planer and my bandsaw. And I also have to do a building stream where I build stands for probably the planer, the bench press, and the sander over there. And I also have a grinder that I also have to put on a stand. So I'm debating whether I'm actually going to build single stands for each of them, which would eat up a lot of floor space, or I may do a sort of interchangeable stand where I have a base attached to each machine and can then move the machines on and off of that base as I need them. I know I've missed a few chats here. Let's see. Gregory Price is in. Hello, Gregory. Sasquatch says do them round to avoid copyright. I very well might. Did I just see hardwood sarong? No, sardong. Gregory Price says I should carve a hardwood sardong. If I can talk Based Ape into sending me one, I will, in fact, do that. I need one to copy. Let's see. Shademaster says, yo, hi, Shades. How's it going? Jonathan Crow is in. He is freshly minted mod. And he says, I should have joined you guys in VC. I'm not sure if you mean during the monkey stream earlier today or other things. I was considering it, but I was also in the middle of other things, so it kind of split my attention a fair bit. I actually ended up lurking quite a lot during that. Shade says he finally caught one of these. Yes, on the monkey Discord. Yeah. Jump in. We're still there. Sure. I think I can probably do that. Let me see how much charge is in my phone. I am kind of in the middle of something else. But yeah, I could potentially do that, I suppose. As long as you guys can promise me not to play any music so I don't get a copyright strike. VC, the old Viet Cong game. It's actually pouring here right now, Kizza. So I understand. I can't even open my windows because the noise would probably be too much. And Crow says they're chatting. Discord. Tristan has sent me something on Discord. Tristan, I could probably very easily make those if I had them to copy. And that includes checkering, and if that's an inlaid coin, yeah, I could probably do all of that if I had the materials. But at this point, I would have to say probably not, because I don't have the best equipment, and the level of detail that I would have to do on that is pretty high. It's if you don't mind me sharing, of course. I will let the guys in the chat know what you're talking about. It's nothing illegal or untoward. It's just, it may not be something he wants to have discussed, so I'll wait till he responds and gives me a yay or a nay. And going to monkey. And find that voice channel. There we go. So Jonathan Crow, Maureen, Robot Demon, and Shademaster. Well, Bleach. It's fine to share. Okay, so what Tristan actually asked me was if I could make a set of, I believe these are, they may be Colt grips, but yes, I could pretty easily make those. They're definitely revolver grips. But if I have one to copy, it would be much easier because I've never actually made one. So to know where the shape, the curvature, and things like that were, would be best. And unfortunately, I accidentally closed Discord. Let me pop in to chat. That's funny. I just got a report spam button popped up on Tristan's message. On Tristan's DM. And because I'm finally free for the weekend. That's nice. There, voice channels, general. Let's see. And I will join voice. Hello all, can you hear me okay?
Hello, my friend.
Excellent. I will turn that up on crank. Well, we'll see. Okay, so you're going on the wall. Enjoy the tool wall, gentlemen.
All right. I want to see end in chat.
End towers?
Yes.
You've lost me.
It's called scaffolds.
Oh my.
Oh, so how's it going, Ardent? How's it going?
It goes very well, my friend. How does it go with you?
I just got off like 13 days straight of lifting heavy rock and pushing heavy object.
Do you feel? Do you feel?
That sentence for a second.
Yeah.
Do you feel manly and sore?
So you've decided to become Sisyphus.
No, Sisyphus was just a bit more degenerative. This was productive. I was installing modifications for packaging machinery for food production.
Oh, see, I was kind of concerned when you're talking about packaging. I was like, have you gotten an alphabet donation to go do some work?
Oh, no. The children were not involved. Thank God.
One moment, Kizza. Okay. So, for the guys who are still in voice chat on the Discord, the moment I opened my Discord, it actually slowed down my internet for the YouTube stream. So, unfortunately, due to that monstrous lag, I'm going to have to drop out of the VC. If you guys are still in there in a couple hours or in an hour and a half or so when I'm done, then I will absolutely pop back in. But for right now, I want to dedicate the bandwidth to my streamers. So, yes, the reason is, in fact, shitty Newfoundland internet. And Gregory Price says he's procrastinating. He should be doing some jobs because it's Saturday and he has time to do them, but I'm here instead. Put your phone in your pocket, put some headphones on, and go do what you got to do. That way you do both. But, you know, who am I to talk? I'm sitting here smoking and having a coffee while I should be doing something productive as well. So, and I see I have 6 viewers now, so I won't repeat my shilling, but I will encourage you to check out the description for the support links. Gregory Price says he's also hungover. In that case, drink some water, put your phone in your pocket, put on some headphones, and go do what you gotta do. You know, it's a bit of a truism that men have to work through things, whether they necessarily want to or not. So, for example, me currently, my knees are absolutely screaming at me. Blackout says he's going to go paint, but he'll still be listening. Awesome. Yeah, my subluxing patellas are basically yelling at me to sit the fuck down and stay there. And I'm not going to pay attention to them because, as I said mentioned at the top of the show, the motto on my ring is illegitimi non carborundum. Don't let the bastards grind you down, even if you are the bastard. But one of the very last things I want to do with this wall before I quit, I'm going to put my machete here just to have a bit of pride of place. And once I actually get the dovetail saw that I intend to pick up, that will be taking the place of the machete. And the machete will probably go somewhat lower. I may scrunch these down a bit, scrunch those up a bit, and get both the dovetail saw and the machete in the same place. But right now, the major thing I need to do is get those clamps onto the wall finally. And that's actually going to require me making a bit of noise that would have interfered with the voice chat on Discord anyway. Let's see. Okay. What else is going on tonight? Yeah, I think that's really going to be my focus, is just to get those clamps out of those shelves, so those shelves are freed up for other things. More like than not, I'm probably going to end up putting my clamps up into the shelving on the spans here. Let me just drop my finger down this span here, and possibly, yeah, one of those two spans probably, which means I might drop my plan for my clamps might end up dropped down a little lower than I intended. Anyway, as I said, I will work that out as I'm going. And the beautiful thing about having a very large pile of scrap lumber is that I can always rearrange it if I choose. In fact, I may very well change my mind about what piece of wood I'm going to use in order to avoid making more scrap than I need. Yeah, so just looking at some of the tools I have, and I'm surprised at how much I've actually managed to acquire in the last couple of years since I started doing this. Actually, I think it's a little less than a year, or a little more than a year, since I started to do work out here in the shed. In any case, it is time, in fact, to get out of the chair and go to work. Which also means moving the camera to a different location and stretching the camera angle upward. Okay. That definitely needs to be unplugged. Oh, that is very hot, so I'm guessing my tablet is fully charged. Yes, it's at 100. So, right now, I'm just hanging up my cable out of the way. And I do believe the camera is pointing at the picture that Stormy's daughter drew for me some time ago, which is a soccer-playing dragon. So let me see if I can get you guys a good angle so that you can see what I'm doing. And move my coffee to this side so it's out of the line of spray. That gets there. These go in my pocket. Oh, that's my wallet. And what have we got going on here? Okay, so I can either take this piece, which is more than I need, or try and find a piece that is roughly exactly what I need. And I think this piece should be closer to the 9 inches that I need. There. And you'll notice I fumble around a little bit looking for things now because I now have a new tool wall as opposed to the scattered pieces that I had before. That is a much longer piece than I need, or at least, oh, there we go. I can use that instead. Instead of using 2x4, I can use 2x3. And since this is in much worse shape, I feel not nearly as bad about breaking that up. Let me see here. I really should have clipped my nails. Okay, so I'm going to have to cut that. That's going to have to get flipped up differently. There we are. That's more or less out of the way. One of the things I did mention yesterday about why I moved that table to the other side of the room was because now I have the ability simply to pull it out when I need to. That little table can sit over there. These various things can sit there. I need a pencil and 9-inch marker. That's not quite where I want it. I'm just selecting my 9 inches from this now. And 9, I need to go a little more than 9 though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 clamps. 1.5 inches a piece. So if I go 1 and I'm just doing a bit of head math. Go 12 inches. Will that be enough for all 6 of them? Yeah, 2 inches is more than enough. So I may not even need to cut a piece after all. I should have a 12-inch piece here. 11. 11 should probably do it. Do I have the room over there for 11 inches? That's a good question. I do not. Okay. Okay then. That may end up going somewhere different after all. Yeah, okay. So I've altered the plan again. And I'm going to put my clamps on the other wall behind me. Instead, this is a piece of cardboard that unfortunately has gotten very, very damp over the last little while, so will not be suitable for a template after all. Oh, that's not a hole. That is. And that scratch all can go in there. So this has become basically my my list piece of paper. So that's actually going to get deleted from the, it's going to get filed under G, let's say. And that's now my new shop necessities list, which will be pinned where? Yeah, that can go up here. There we are. And I need to write a couple of things onto it, which I need to pick up. Iron. What else did I need? I put that on the other piece, didn't I? Yes, I did. I'm a dork. Okay, I already had the other item. And the other thing I need to get is a router. Okay. That pencil go in there safely? Not really. Okay. And you'll notice I'm not using that very thick pencil to actually make marks on the wood I'm working on, because I'm using a mechanical pencil, which makes a very clear mark, but a much thinner one. Before I do that, I can actually put this thing up with 1, 2, 3 screws. Okay, and I'll do that in a rapid succession here. Do I have any more small ones? I have no small screws left, so I'm stuck with the big ones. So, okay. I tell you guys I am working in close quarters, I'm not kidding. So, this will go on the wall. Swing that over here. That will go on the wall there. Round about. So the first screw has to go in there. Okay, I need the drill now. And that way seems best. Drop it down a little more, I think. Actually, I don't like the idea of doing it that way, so I am going to do it this way. That one can go there. That one will go there, and that's simply going to sit there like that for now. So that'll do. Actually, I think I'd prefer it to sit that way. And I guess it's not going to do that for me, so we'll go it this way after all. I think I'll just pull the machete out of the sheath. There we are. That should stay where I've put it now. Yeah, okay, that's not moving. Okay, now to deal with those clamps, I need to work on the other wall. Which necessitates moving my chair again. And I'm actually working on that wall. And that's not a great angle, so we will come to about here. There we are. Okay. And down. And I'll check and see if I missed anything on chat. Good spot for a light under there. Indeed it is. And Kizza says he'll be back. Okay. So, this is how long again? 17 inches. I don't need a piece that long. Or do I? That will work for all the clamps except the smallest ones, which I could hang from it. I may go back to my original plan here, which was a foot at 12 inches with 6 as 2 inches apiece. Excellent. That piece I won't need after all, so I will be using the 2x4. And I'm just going to do something very simple. I'm just going to drill holes at the top of the 2x4, and then I'll be hooking the clamps to it. I will probably do the same thing with another piece afterwards once I get it mounted. That's going to get mounted basically right there beside this window. And once that's done, then I may very well be done for the evening. Let's see. I need to drill and countersink some holes, which means I need my drill bits, which are here. And I will absolutely need my shame board, which I did rediscover recently. I just don't remember where I poked it. There it is. And there's my shame board. And And I won't need the pencil after all because I don't actually have to measure this piece. It's already a foot long, which was what I needed. And that can go back where it was. And this very flimsy sheath can actually sit on top of the cabinets. There we go. That will probably fill up with spiders in the next little while. I think I'll leave it this side out. Okay. Oh, yeah, that would be nice. Don't think I finished my coffee either. And I forget who it was that said it. That was Gregory Price suggested this light underneath the shelf above the tool wall. That's actually a really good choice, though I don't think I'll be doing that. I won't need that one for that. I'll need this one. That's the Jorj. Jorj is good. Jorj is good, a little less. And I need this for that. It has to come out. That will go in my pocket so I don't lose track of it. Now I need to grab what screws I'm using. And I think I'll probably use these. That's a little longer than it needs to be. I don't think I have anything much shorter than that available. That will do. Okay. Those two will do neatly. Okay. That goes back up there. Now, I need to know how big a hole I need to make. I do believe that should be the right drill bit to use. When you're trying to determine how big a hole to drill, you actually want to take the threads of your screw and measure it against, hold them behind your drill bit, and if you see your threads, then you're probably okay. Okay. And I don't really need to make a mark because this can be a little rough. It won't hurt. Okay, that's straight through. Another good reason to use a shame board is it prevents tear out. Just to show you guys what tear out looks like, I'll drill an extra hole here. And you can see here, this was the first one I drilled right here. It's nice and clean, very little tear out. Whereas on this one, there's a lot of splintering because there was nothing behind it to keep it from suffering the shame of tear out. And if it had not been for the fact that I was illustrating a point, I would have brought shame on my entire family by doing that. And that's nice and neat. Clean up my bit. And that will sit over there till it cools. The next thing that needs to go in there is actually the drill bit that I'm planning to use. And I just realized I have a piece of paper in my pocket from earlier. Oh, telling me to fix my PayPal link. Yeah, I will probably be doing that before I go to sleep tonight. The next thing I need is a countersink to make those holes a little cleaner. Now, what you're about to see me do is considered unsafe by a lot of people. The reason it's considered unsafe is because a lot of those people will hold here And that can actually snap your wrist. If you're smart, you hold it this way and apply pressure slowly. There we go. Actually, I can leave that cranked all the way up. And my tear out hole is on that side. Now, I don't actually need to use the shame board for this, but I do want to brace it, so. And I'm just countersinking the hole so that when I put the screw in, it won't have to bite into as much of this board as it will into the wall. And I expect that to be quite warm now as well, so ouch. Yep, a little hot. And now it's really a very simple procedure to just put that in the wall. And I will start the screws through until I see the points begin to come up. So once the points come to about that level, I'll get that against my shirt so you can see it. Once the points are there, you're basically just putting them against the wall and they'll hold themselves in place while you pin them in. Let's just start the screw with your hand and then keep an eye out for the tip to come through the hole. There it is. Get over there. It's in. And I do apologize for the noise, but I'm just over torquing this a little bit, so it's definitely seated. There we are. That is rock solid, going nowhere. Now I can put my table back, which won't interfere with my camera angle. There we go. Kick my chair off to one side so it's out of the way, and grab those clamps. Excuse me. Little burp. And I'm not putting the clamps on super tight, just enough to kind of grip them. So I don't want to actually have to work really hard to get them off. I simply want to be able to do this and pull. There we go, just making sure they're good and solid. And then on this end, I'm going to put in a hook and use a couple of straps to put my C-clamps on. I need a hook. I had a hook. There's my hook. Do I want to use that hook or that? Actually, I'm going to use two hooks because I'm going to use two straps. So that hole will actually come in handy. Actually, no, I'm not going to do that way at all, because I just realized I have something else I intend to do with that. So I will stick one hook in up high here. Come on, get in there. There we go. That end grain is being difficult. But then again, this is just cheap spruce structural lumber, so. And then under there, I can put the other hook for now. I don't think I'll actually need this hook right away. Actually, I definitely will, because I just had a bit of a, I suppose we could call it an inspiration moment. It's actually a very awkward angle because it's so close to the wall. There we are. Is it still raining hard? It is not. Excellent. I can open the windows. Okay. So, what I'm going to do there now is actually relocate my smallest C-clamps. And I'm actually going to end up putting this on the actual frame of my table saw. Oof. And what I'm going to be doing with these clamps is just clamping them to each other as I'm going, so that they, oops, we'll put one up and hang the next one from it, and on, assuming I can do that cleanly. And I can. Generally, I've found that if I need one of these clamps, I usually need two, possibly three, maybe even all four. So it's not really that big an issue to unclamp them from each other. And, oh, okay, I guess we're going to have to go this route after all. There we go. So there's 4 small C-clamps hanging from that. My slightly larger C-clamps, these guys, and the very biggest ones I have which are these guys, are just going to go on a strap and hopefully not bend that hook too far out of true. If I find that they're bending the hook out of true, I'll just replace the hook with a screw, as that will be significantly deeper into the material and hold better. This is the strap I'm talking about, this sort of thing. And all I'm going to be doing is closing these up almost all the way, almost as tight as you would want it, and looping the strap over here like that, and I'll just be hanging the rest of them there. Come to think of it, I don't really care for where that's hanging, so I'm just going to pull this hook out as it is and put a screw down a little lower. Just have that done. So I need my screwdriver very quickly. And a screw. And I did kind of toenail that in because I wanted it through in a bidirectional set of the fiber of the wood. Actually, I may have a better way to do this, which will eat up a little less space. At least potentially. Those two. And those two. There we are. Perfect. I think that's probably too much weight for that screw, though. Well, that appears to be holding, so that's good. I'll turn that strap around. There we go. So there's my clamps. Unfortunately, because I chose to clamp them there, I'm eventually going to have to move them in order to do any sort of painting in here. But when I do painting with that vinyl strip, or that vinyl backdrop, it's very small scale. It's not an issue. Let's see, next thing to do. I will be sitting down to chat shortly. Next thing I want to do is put that push stick on the table saw. And for that, I need self-tapping screws. Fortunately, I did have a couple. 1, 2, and they are in fact Robertson. Good. And because they're a little oily, I'm going to leave them that way. Actually, those aren't self-tappers. So the self-tappers must be in my proper screw mix. These are handy little devices. These are actually plugs for caulking and other, well, for any tube that would go in a caulking gun. So your industrial adhesives, things like that as well. There we go. I know I had a couple of self-tappers. Is that going to be deep enough for that guy, though? Not really. Okay. What I might do is put the self-tappers in, pull them out, and replace them with regular screws once the holes are set. I have a couple of machine screws that will work. Will they fit in those holes? Maybe. Well, let's find out. Nothing to it but to do it, right? So, let's get you guys pointed over here, where the important stuff is about to happen. Actually, I don't think I want that angle, because that's very much only carpenter's angle. And we're going to have to come down here, I guess. And back up. Okay, you guys will be able to see what I'm doing there now. What did I kick? I kicked... I think it was... Oh, okay, there's a nail on the floor I missed when I was cleaning up. Okay. Yes, I do in fact have the fanciest of kneeling pads. Do I need to change bits? Yes. Okay, so I'm not even going to try that with that. Do I have a metal? Not really. You know, I think what I'll do instead of trying to screw that together, I think I'll use a little bit of my Gorilla Glue and just put a couple of pegs on there to hang that off of. Let's see, Gorilla Glue, there we are. Okay, so for that, I need a bit of water and a rag. Fortunately, I'm sweating. That isn't going to provide the water. Okay. That, now I actually do need to cut a peg, a couple of pegs actually, to hold that. Actually, no, I don't. I can actually, yeah, if that plastic is soft enough, I can actually just screw it into the plastic instead. Oh. That should be good right about there. And I will be able to screw it directly into the plastic. Awesome. I don't really feel bad about marring up this particular table saw because it is in, how would we put it? We'll say it's been very well loved. Will probably be the fairest way to go. Okay, that looks like it wants to crack. So we're going to back that out. We're actually going to take a drill bit and put a tiny hole there. That's too big for that one. So just to show you guys exactly what I'm doing, I have a manual ratcheting screwdriver here, which I'm able to extend, and I'm actually going to use that to drive the screwdriver, or the drill bit rather, into that hole so it passes through. Oh, okay, I guess we already did that. In that case, we need a larger bit just to fill out that hole. In any case, the operation is going to be roughly the same. There we are. That was handy. And the hook comes back over. And there we are. Turn it a little more. Perfect. Where did I lay my stick down? There it is. And that will do nicely. Perfect. Okay. Now, I'm coming back to chat for a few minutes. Stormy is in. Hi, Stormy. Oh, excuse me. Just in time to hear me first. Get over there. Now, I guess I'm going to enjoy giving you guys a taste of the more or less completed tool wall. Ah, I see a problem. And given that it's going to be hanging behind my head, I intend to fix that problem immediately. There we go. I absolutely do not want to take a chance on that coming down while I'm talking. Or, you know, breathing. So, let's bring you down to have a chat, shall we? Okay, so this is basically going to be the angle for my shed videos when I do talking videos out here now. That can go down a little lower. Pay no attention to the boob shot. Settle down, Stormy. And let's get the angle slightly better. So this is going to end up being my angle for things like Thinking Man's Thursday and stuff. So yeah, this is, I'm a little too far back. There we go. Okay. So yeah, this is going to be the new angle for Thinking Man's Thursday and things like that, because it roughly puts the in the middle of the room, and that makes it a lot easier just to move it. The downside is I still need to move some stuff from over here. Let's go through chat and see what everyone is saying before I call it a night. I'm glad I didn't need the Gorilla Glue after all. That stuff can be a bit messy. And I see somebody is talking about dumbasses, so I'm definitely going to enjoy that. Kizza, also hungover. I'll be back. There we go. Gregory Price said he stopped procrastinating, and then it started raining, so now I can't do that. He also says, boob in a tube. I'm not sure what that's about. Stormy says, hey baby, and hello everyone. Hi love. So it seems I'm the only girl. Hello boys, what's happening? Shades says, yo. Stormy says, hey Shades. Stormy says, wow honey, you got a lot done. It's weird, but I don't feel like I did. Though I can clearly see that I have accomplished quite a bit. I mean, if you look at this, it doesn't look like there's a hell of a lot of space, but if I turn it just a little more, you can see there's significant wall space there now for storage. So that's good. Let's see. Billy Bloggs asks if Trudeau has a foundation. Yes, he does, and it is a conflict of interest machine. Crow says, what? Crow claims to have a cloaca, or cloaca, I'm not exactly sure on the pronunciation of that properly, and says that he can therefore count as a girl. I disagree. I think you therefore count as a neuter. But these days, you can identify as a girl if you're neutered. So, yeah. Billy says, sucking hell, they all have foundations, tax evasion, and power to make. Yeah, exactly. You know, if you end up with any significant sum of money, the best way to keep it appears to be to actually set up some sort of charitable organization that pays you to be its leader and should accomplish something once in a while. Let's see. Crow is swishing his feathers in vanity. Oh, Gregory Price is talking about things that go in cocking guns. Yeah. It's kind of funny because it does look like a very elongated orange nipple. Let's see. Crow says go with the second pronunciation, so cloaca. Okay. Or did I have that wrong? I'm too tired to care. Let's see. Influence peddling more than tax evasion. Well, it can be both. Tristan. And Billy Bloggs also says, look at the CFR, Blair Ford, etc. Foundation. Yeah. I'm not sure what CFR stands for at this moment, but really UNICEF and NATO, the UN in general, they're all just big versions of the same thing, where countries put their money and pretend to be doing charitable works. Yeah. Crow says he's going to be totally out of it tomorrow for Sultans. It's already almost midnight here. It's 1:45, and I'm probably going to be very, very tired when Sultans starts, but on the upside, there's coffee. So, caffeine and nicotine will keep me going. And yes, Billy, they in fact do influence pedal and avoid tax. Yeah, and wielding power as well. Uh, Crow says he's surviving on pure spite. Pure spite has gotten more things done in this world than almost any other force outside of violence. And spite has been involved in creating some violence many times. There's actually one more device I want to put on the wall here. Right about here, I want to put my folding saw now, because I have the room for it. And then I need to put something over here. I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to put up there. That might end up being where my pliers and things end up. What I might do is do some drilling with my 1.25" bit and possibly break out the bench press, or the drill press rather. Bench press. I'm lucky if I can do a bench press these days. Let's see. So I'm curious now, Crow. Why are you surviving on pure spite? Oh, sorry. I know that's a social contagion, but I couldn't help myself. Let's see. Yeah, I did actually get quite a bit done. I got quite a few things put away, some things reorganized. As I said, I do need to get a lot of that wood in that corner sorted. Uh, which, now that I have that wall for storage space, I may very well. Actually, I'm looking at that table, that second table that I have, and I'm thinking I could easily pick up a piece of plywood. And actually, I have more than enough material there to actually do that. Put a couple of pieces of plywood across that and use that for a secondary racking for short pieces of scrap. Though that would make the table significantly heavier to move. And, well, I'll just get stronger. Hell with it. Let's see. Gregory Price says the problem with Sultans is it starts at 10:30 p.m. and you're normally hammered by then. It starts at 10:30 in the morning for me, so I don't know why you're drinking that early. Let's see. Billy Block says the Siloons do the same. Yeah. And Stormy is agreeing with my yawn. I don't blame you, honey. I am going to finish up here and give you a call as soon as this cigarette is gone. Yeah, I'll be ending the stream, shutting the windows, turning the lights off, and heading to bed. So yeah, if you guys have any weird questions or anything, hit me with them now. I will hit you with the final shill of the evening. Uh, check the description. You can find all kinds of different ways to support me there. Among them, actually not mentioned there, is the Rumble stuff. On Rumble, you can subscribe. I believe the lowest you can subscribe for is $5 a month. Even if you can't afford that, or you don't want to go that far, then what you can do is send me a Rumble rant during my stream most Sundays. Won't be this Sunday as it's preempted for the Sultans Subscribe Star Hangout. I have talked to Yiz about possibly being on Discord and Dragons this Monday. She is currently holding a full slate, but if someone drops out, I'm first on the list for a fill-in, so that's awesome. It's always good to be the guy on the end of the bench. Crow says he had a weird bad week, so an unstable future. Okay, that's unfortunate. And Gregory Price says it's 11:50 a.m. and I've cracked a beer. Well, I guess you have a full day of alcoholism ahead of you, Greg. Or Gregory. I don't know if you necessarily like Greg. Speaking of shortened versions of one's name, how would you shorten Ardent without turning it into Denny? Because that sounds weird. And I don't think anyone wants to call me Ard. Let's see. And yeah, you could go the Yiz route of simply shortening it to AP, which is fine until I end up on a stream with Aiden Paladin, American Populist, and myself. Because it becomes AP, other AP, and other AP. Crow says he's trying to work out what his future will be. Vanishing in the USA would be good. You know, uh, you could. Now, this is just hypothetical for YouTube purposes, but you could rob a bunch of banks in England, flee to the US, and, start a business and then sponsor a bunch of people to move. Just hypothetically. Not that I'd ever suggest such a thing. Ard, lol. Yeah, that means something a little different in Newfoundlandese, or in Newfoundlandese. Billy Bloggs says, "What the hell is a party anyway?" Artie party. That sounds weird too, but Artie is not bad. Sounds like the nickname for a Dalek though. Yeah, a party. Just to give you the etymology of my last name, it comes from the Norman French for pardieu, which is by God. So essentially, we're supposed to be godly people. Ironic, I'm an atheist. And Blackout says, "Don't flee to the U.S. You flee to Mexico and sneak into the U.S." Fair. Uh, Come to think of it, there's such a large contingent of European and Americans in Mexico. It might be just as well for us to all try Mexico. Crow says he is sure he can be made to vanish. If I try that through Mexico, it'll be via cartels. Yeah. Just if you end up crossing the border into Texas or anywhere south in the U.S., you need to remember this phrase: "Yo no habla inglés." I don't speak English in Spanish, which is ironic because one of my favorite things to say to people in Spanish is "Yo no hablo español." I don't speak Spanish in Spanish. Okay, cigarette is done. I am very tired, very sore, and now that I'm looking around at what I have accomplished, very satisfied. So, I am very, very pleased with what I have accomplished. Once I get all the work surfaces cleared off, I'll be even happier. Hopefully, the next few days will be, well, tomorrow and the next day really doesn't matter all that much because I still have some stuff left to do in here. But hopefully, after that, the weather gets better and I can look at getting outside to do some cutting and build that stand that I want to do. I will probably be designing that in my head for the next day or two. Possibly during Sultans tomorrow as well. I'll be doing some design work. Trying to figure out exactly, just looking at that screw, I put that strap full of clamps on and I'm making sure it's not bending. Looks like it's pretty good. But the next little while, I'll be figuring out a good design for an interchangeable stand. I did have a prototype in mind that would be able to accept the grinder, the sander, and the planer, and would give me the ability to then take all of those particular pieces, move them off the tool stand, and then change them out. I may very well enact that after all. And hopefully sometime in the next few days I'll also get to do. Oh god, excuse me. I'll also get to do the unboxing videos for the bandsaw and the planer. I did see a couple of chats come in, so before I sign off, I'll check those out. Stormy says, I am God. Why the fuck, honey? LOL, I have been touched by God. LOL. Oh, dear. Let's see. Tristan Armstrong suggests Crow take a flight to Paris, go to Normandy, buy a kayak, paddle back home, and live in a hotel as a refugee. That would be a good idea, except what they're doing now, they appear to be ejecting the Afghan refugees from the hotels, apparently with the idea that they're going to put them in people's private homes, the same way that they did with the Ukrainians. I'd like to recommend against that very strenuously. I don't think that's going to be culturally compatible. I'm surprised the Ukrainians have been culturally compatible to the point that they have been, or at least appear to have been. Let's see. Crow says his brother, when working in Spain, would have to evict people from the beach, but he didn't speak Spanish. So he'd stare at them and repeat at them, I'm very hungry, until they left. This is Measure. Out of nowhere, dude in a black t-shirt in front of Saza Mellets. Okay, cool. Thank you. Crow says we need the Sultans compound. We absolutely do. Again, if nothing else, let's... if the subscribe star thing doesn't pan out, I suggest we all start playing the lotteries in our various home countries, and when one of us wins big, we all move in together. Let's see. Tristan says that's even better. He can live in Crow's spare room and collect the stipend. Okay. Thanks. Based Apes Stream will fund it. I expect he's already doing very well with that 48 Chronicles thing. If you guys haven't checked out that channel, do go and look at the shorts. Some of them are quite amusing. And Crow is streaming every day at about 6 p.m. London time, which, if I am correct, is about 3... Sorry, I was going to say 3:30, but that's wrong because there's no half hour. 3 Eastern time, I think. And what else am I being suggested? Bleach Demon says they're serenading Maureen. Awesome. Are you singing her songs in her native language or yours? It's 1 p.m. Eastern. My apologies. Measure. No, really, I just stumbled into this. I'm not unhappy. I have been drinking, though. Well, I kind of wish I'd had a drink at this point. But I'll save that for the hangout. On Sunday, I'll have a couple. In any case, folks, I am very much done in, so I will let you guys go. Thank you all for being here. Please do look in the description for the links for support me. If you want to send me PayPal, just send it to the email address. It's going to work just as well. Other than that, I will see some of you in a few hours for Sultans, and hopefully I will see some more of you as fresh Subscribe Star supporters on Sunday. And I do believe that is it. So I hope you're having a good night. I hope you continue to have a good night and good days to come. And as always, rise and rise again until lambs become lions. Bye-bye.